Hello and welcome everyone to the ISCA Thursday Cup and Super Cup Series, and we have an action-packed race for everyone this evening as this is a cutoff race. As always, I am Brian Britt along with my partner in crime, Big Al. How you doing tonight, Big Al?
Hey, what's going on, Brian? Doing pretty good, man. Excited to be doing a little bit something different here this week. Hopefully, this race will turn out to be as exciting as last Thursday's night. What we got going on here?
Well, we got 125 miles here at, I was going to say laps, but I'm glad I didn't say that. At the Charlotte Roval, got the graphic right on the screen here. Of course, for the Papa John's 125, 55 laps these guys have to tackle. Stages are 11 and 22. 5 tire sets means 4 down in the pits, and I'm not sure how useful tires are going to be here. We've seen in this next-gen car, the tires don't wear a whole lot, but one thing these guys are going to have to keep in mind in that final stage is going to be fuel. 25 laps that these guys can make it. So that's kind of what we got going on here. And I told you we have a cutoff race, Big Al. Well, there are some people that are kind of in a precarious situation right now. One moment, I'll pull those points up right quick. Do apologize for the wait there, but safe is Jeffrey Souza and Mark Sanchez. Of course, Mark Sanchez won last week at Talladega, and then we saw Jeffrey Souza win at Texas the week before. Probably safe here tonight going into the next round is probably going to be Mark Pageant, Clayton Hoffman. I don't think Hoffman's here, but I think he's going to be using his I do believe his provisional. Matt DeCiani, probably safe also. Could be a little on the edge there for him. Needs a solid race is Kenny Powell and Al Kozlowski. They need a really good finish here tonight. Otherwise, they could find themselves on the outside looking in. Fighting for a spot also is Andrew Griesbaum and Wayne Grossi. Needs a spectacular race. Randy Drumhiller needs to win is Josh Schaffner, and I do believe Brian Johnson, if I'm not mistaken. So definitely going to be some close action out here. Big Al going to have to watch these guys. If anybody makes a mistake, has a bad night, clobbers the wall, we could see that the playoffs going into the next round change quite a bit.
Yeah, guys are definitely going to have to be cognizant of that. And this is a road course, so actually puts a little bit of a different feather in a lot of these guys' caps. Now, you said something about Brian Johnson. If memory serves me correct, he is still serving a suspension, isn't he?
No, I don't believe so. I think who we were thinking of maybe be Chris Johnson, but I think he's
Okay,
already been. I think that suspension is already up. So we'll have to wait and see how this all plays out. But so far, it looks like we have 12, maybe a little bit more than 12 drivers out here tackling it. We're qualifying right now on board with Mark Pageant as he tackles this place. And what an interesting track. I mean, kind of a hybrid between an oval and a road course. I mean, I definitely earns the name Roval for sure. There are some tricky parts on this track. There's a lot of walls that these guys can hit. And we know that these cars are tough, but if you hit them in the right spot, you can break that toe link. And I think this is a place where we're going to see a whole lot of that.
Yeah, Clayton Hoffman is actually in the field now. I don't know if he's actually
Nice.
going to be rolling off, but yeah, it's going to be good to see him back. He hadn't actually been with us for a couple of weeks, so hail Clayton.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing about Clayton, a lot of rumors and kind of things have been going around, like, oh, he knows he's going to make it to the next round, so he hasn't been showing up. But actually, it's been something I do believe personal, as in like work or something like that. So
Work.
definitely,
Who,
something you got to
who is
work.
who is this guy you call Work, and how do we appease him?
Very difficult to do for sure. But love to. I know we kind of were meant to have this series sponsor a couple weeks ago, but we're going to have them on board here this evening. I do believe the UXF or UXO. Isn't that right, Big Al? You got anything to say about
Yep,
that?
yep. The UXO guys, man, they're a great charitable organization, doing a lot of things for veterans, first responders, Ghost Star family members, and kids. I think we got a commercial that will be rolling with those guys there uh, that we'll actually be able to see. So good, great organization, great group of guys.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that commercial. I know we got it kind of all lined up. I got a sneak peek of it before the broadcast. Very well done and looked like a whole lot of fun. I wouldn't even mind going along with those guys. They look like they have a ball going out hunting and doing all kinds of things like that.
Yeah, I think you might qualify under the little kid chapter.
Look at that. Mark Pageant spinning out Of course, we're going to now look at Kenny Powell. He's out there. These guys have a little bit over 5 minutes left in practice here.
Yeah, this is one of those courses where drivers are just going to kind of have to take it easy, especially these guys that really need a good solid finish, guys like Keselowski and Powell. You know, this is a course that you can really kind of take yourself out of the equation. So they're going to definitely have to be cautious, I think would be the best way to say it.
Yeah, definitely going to have to try to be as cautious as you can be. I mean, sometimes it's not worth it to really chase that biscuit, as Big Al would say. But, you know, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think that as long as you survive it, I think it's going to be a good day as Kenny Powell spins out, comes grinding to a stop here. And this is a tough place.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about, because you don't get the benefit of having that full course caution as well. So I mean, you're really kind of on your own except for the stage breaks, and they're going to need to get as many points as they can. You know, especially with a small field like this, guys going to want to try to. Looks like the 44 of Randy Drumhiller kind of spins it around a little bit, but guys are just going to have to be really, really cautious. I want to say that about 10 more times tonight.
Now, of course, these guys are in qualifying trim, so this is really not anything that is telling on how they're going to run in the actual race itself. But, I mean, of course, they're probably going to have them trimmed out to get the best lap for one lap. But, I mean, it could be hard to hang on to, and that could be we're seeing this.
Yeah, and plus, you know, you don't get a full opportunity to kind of warm those tires up when you're doing qualifying either. And that, you know, these tires are going to definitely start to come into themselves, if you will. That's a big difference between the sim and the actual, you know, real racing. But I think the longer they kind of go, I think the faster they're going to get.
Yeah, I think you could be onto something there for sure. I mean, we've seen it at road courses in the past to where, you know, you kind of see that take place to where guys go out there and kind of suffer on the cold tires for a little bit. But then as the fuel starts to wear off and, of course, the tires get a little bit of heat in them, they get faster and faster. We haven't seen a whole lot of fall off at these road courses. I know Watkins Glen comes to mind. We were there recently and wasn't a whole lot of fall off there.
Yeah, the big thing is going to be watching these guys actually go through the stages to see who's going to come in and pit, because I think pitting is going to be the key to try to get as much of that Sunoco racing fuel as you can in the tank, Brian, because we've seen that strategy actually pay off here this season as well.
Yeah, Derek Heitman comes to mind. Let's we'll get back into the conversation here in just a bit. I think we'll go ahead and take that step away from the national anthem, and right after that, we're going to play that nice promo that we just are going to be debuting here tonight.
Race fans, it is time for those most famous words in motorsports. Driver, start your engine!
Hey everybody, my name is Warren Maddox. I am the president of Ultimate Experience Outdoors. Our mission, we are dedicated to taking veterans, first responders, youth, and Gold Star family members on outdoor excursions across the country.
Support for our mission has many forms. From camp cooks to the great storytellers, some buddies with the band, maybe you just want to build a campfire and sit around and listen. Nothing goes unnoticed.
Camaraderie is reborn. The acceptance among the men and women that took an oath.
Whether it was decades ago or recently renewed, but never forgotten.
If you feel like you could help us, please visit our website, www.uxonation.org.
There, you can register to hunt, sign up to sponsor an event, or even donate to us so we can continue to execute our mission.
Oh my gosh, I'm so comfortable, bro. We get a hug, man. What have you done, Jim?
We need your help to hold the line once again.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and we have our grid set for this evening's action. Definitely going to be an exciting race this evening, as Matt DeCiani probably pretty much, I think, safe in the playoffs, but still going to be trying to make sure he has plenty of padding qualifying on the pole. Derek Heitman going to qualify on the outside pole. Second place is going to belong to Greg Wachinski with Andrew Griesbaum, who needs a good finish here tonight. He's going to be starting there in fourth place. Fifth place is going to be Randy Drumhiller, with sixth place being Al Kozlowski. Seventh place is going to be Kenny Powell. Eighth place, Clayton Hoffman. Ninth place is going to be Mark Pageant. And rounding out our 10-car field here, our top 10 here, is Wayne Grossi.
Yeah, that's put Don Avery in 11th with Paul Olson bringing up the rear in 12th. And that's going to be a tight field, so these guys are going to have to make every lap count, Brian.
That they are going to be, really just trying to avoid mistakes. I think that's going to be the biggest thing tonight. And when you are racing side by side, it could be quite tricky. I've seen a couple guys kind of watched them race here this week, and it seems like it's a lot of crazy racing. I mean, guys are going to be sending it, throwing it in there, and it could stick, it might not. So we're going to have to wait and see. I mean, we got Clayton Hoffman starting in 8th place. I mean, he's usually a big contender at tracks like this. Would not be surprised to see him trying to drive through the field, and with that, it could cause problems. And at some point, Big Al, I think we'll even run into lap traffic.
Yeah, definitely going to be a factor, especially as we come around the third stage. Hopefully, we won't get any lap traffic in the first stage and the second stage, with only 11 laps in those two stages. So I don't know though, Brian. It depends on how well these guys are going to be driving tonight.
Yeah, it really does. That's what it all is about. Making sure you mind your P's and Q's, hit your marks every time, no matter who you're racing around. And you mentioned it, kind of brought it to our attention just a little bit before the national anthem, talking about, that opportunity to maybe use a certain strategy. I mean, we saw that before, to where, those first two stages, of course, the fuel window is 25 laps. I mean, the stages only amount to 22 laps. So that would, make me think that could be a strategy here again. I mean, don't pit in the first stage. Could be possibly be a strategy, or maybe pitting. I mean, it's going to go either way, I do believe. But limiting your time on pit road is the important thing.
Yeah, I think you pit. I definitely think you pit and you get it topped off. That way, when you come in at the end of the second stage, for all those guys who didn't pit, it's going to take them a little bit longer to squeeze that those initial gallons of fuel in, and that's where you're going to win the race off of pit road. And track position on this track is everything.
Yeah, it definitely is. So those guys that really desperately need a good finish to move on to the next round, this is a strategy that they possibly could try to utilize to get to the front of the field. We'll have to wait and see how that works out. Everybody, I do believe, starting to get rolling here in just a moment. Nice surprise we're going to have later for stage number 2. Jeffrey Souza took his provisional here tonight. Decided he did not want to run the race. He's actually going to be hopping up here in the booth with us, Big Al. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be excited to let you two sit and chat it up, and Big Al's gonna take a big old break.
Oh yeah, is that right?
Yeah, I called it.
Well, that's not fair.
And all's fair in calling races.
You can tell the anticipation of these drivers. You hear the engines just revving up. They're wanting to get moving. I got to mention about that promo too. Just had that play right after the national anthem. Loved everything we saw there. Some fishing, some hunting, guys out there just having fun. I mean, and just it's good on them. I mean, you think that helps out with the PTSD?
Yeah, absolutely. It that's the biggest part of that. It gets veterans kind of out there in the woods just a little bit and allows them to clear their head, even if it's just fishing or just hanging out. So.
Well, it looks like we're starting to pace here now, so we got to make it around here one time, and then we'll get the green flag going. And heck, it's even hard to pace around a track like this, Big Al. I mean, I don't envy these guys at all. I mean, I know, whenever I first started on iRacing, I was all about the road course racing, but I don't think that's the case any longer, especially not in these cars. But a lot of these guys like these cars here at this track. I mean, you've even said it several times. This car kind of built for the road courses.
Yeah, absolutely. It handles so much better than its predecessor, especially when it comes to turning left and right. Plus, you got those big old tires and rim packages on these things as well. So, I mean, I'm kind of happy with where the sport is right now. I do. Everybody hated this car when we started, also, just because it has taken so many updates to get this thing to where it is right now. And right now, it's probably one of the best sim racing products that is actually in the series.
So that's interesting you say that. I know a lot of people probably agree with you on the product that we see on iRacing itself. I think in actual NASCAR, there's a whole different controversy kind of going on right now. But yeah, in the sim, I absolutely love these cars. I mean, when we saw these guys race at Bristol and we saw the amount of tire wear we saw, I mean, it was excellent to see that. That's the kind of racing you want to see at a track like Bristol. But in real life, it was a little bit different. Didn't really have much tire wear there, but man, gotta love the state of the next gen here in the sim. I wish NASCAR would actually kind of maybe model it after what is in the sim. Maybe Goodyear needs to take some pointers on the tires.
Oh man, yeah, I definitely saw a logo earlier, and it was the evolution of the trash symbol, and it said 2022, and it was a Goodyear tire.
Oh no!
Cars. Noted.
Pace car lights are out. We're getting ready to get this thing underway as we come around. I do believe the turn would be turn 3 and 4 on the oval portion here. The chicanes I think the chicanes are some of the trickiest things on this racetrack. A lot of guys are going to try to pass through there. I don't know how that's going to work out here as we're getting close to pit road. Pace car is down as we're going to see the green flag out for the first time here tonight for the Papa John's 125.
Yeah, the key is going to be for those lead cars. You want to get straight before you get on the throttle there. As you see Kenny Powell kind of slowing back a little bit. Guess he's going to kind of fall back to the rear of the field here. Oh, and Drumhiller's hard into the wall. That's going to make contact with Al Keselowski. Checks up the field in the back. He got himself in a big old mess.
Definitely, for sure. Let's take a look back here at this 44 and see exactly what just happened. Of course, no caution is going to be out for this accident, so the racing is still going to continue. But I just wanted to see this because it was such a sudden thing, and a lot of guys had to move out of the way in order to not get involved in this. See, we see Randy Drumhiller driving it in deep.
Hard. Yeah, Keselowski tagging him on the rear end there. That's not going to be good for him. But Keselowski now has kind of got it tucked back in 8th, but I think he is off the pace a little bit as Wayne Grossi is going to be trying to get up alongside him and go around, and he is going to bring the 11, Don Avery, with him as well. So Keselowski definitely dropping back, so hopefully he
hopefully didn't get too much front-end damage on that race car. Definitely glad to see Wayne Grossi out there on the field. We haven't seen him in quite a while. I do believe he was having some issues with his rig.
Yeah, Randy Drumhiller, though, definitely the recipient of a meatball flag. Keselowski doesn't have one, and it appears he is going to be able to continue. At
You know
least
what's
for the
crazy?
time being.
Randy Drumhill needs a good finish here. I mean, he needs to have a stellar night. That's exactly what he needs to have here, and that is going to not help him in the slightest.
Well, he is still under his own power trying to limp that thing back around the pit road. It's Paul Ocean way off the pace there. Not sure what's going on with that. But Drumhiller definitely, he's got a meatball flag, so he's just trying to see if he can make it back around the pit road, and he was actually able to do that. That's going to save him a bunch of time.
Definitely will. We were talking about, whether we'd see lap traffic in this first stage. Well, it looks like we will see that as Randy Drumhiller goes a lap down, and looks like he's going to be trying to get some major repairs on that vehicle.
Yeah, Don Avery also down on pit road.
Yeah, I see that. What happened to Don Avery here?
Yeah, he's also the recipient of a meatball flag, so not sure how we missed that.
Clayton
There's a lot
Hoffman
to cover here,
just
ladies
got.
and gentlemen.
Yeah, there definitely is. It looks like Clayton Hoffman just got a slowdown penalty. He blew through the chicanes. He falls back, I do believe. I think he fell back to 9th place here. And he's going to take it down pit road.
Well, that's definitely
He just takes a tow. Oh, no. So that's a lot of our competitors already taking that exit here. That is unfortunate. But, of course, Clayton Hoffman, I think, came in here fairly safe when it comes to the points. It's going to take quite a bit to catch up to him when it comes to these points. But, of course, he, out of the race, not going to be gaining the maximum amount. Matt DeCiani, like I said, relatively safe going to the next round, but looks like he is in prime position to maybe even gather a win. And, just shows the road course, talent that this driver has here. We've seen DeCiani struggle in the last couple weeks, I'd say. This week, not the case. He is looking strong there in that one machine.
Man, the 88, though, Val Kozlowski just having a really bummer day, man. He is about 5 seconds off the pace and slowing. He's not actually making any pace. He's not getting any faster. Also, back there, right there with the 43 of Paul Osen. Osen, he's doing all he can. I mean, he shows up. I mean, and eventually he's going to find himself just through his consistency. He's going to find himself up top.
Yeah, definitely. You see Andrew Griesbaum up in that 4th place position, definitely doing a fantastic job. He needs a good finish. Sitting 4th right now. Mark Padgett's in 5th. You see Kenny Powell sitting in 6th place. Wayne Grossi not far back from Kenny Powell, so we could see a battle for position here. As Powell last time by, minute 24.054. That is well off the pace. So one thing about road courses, you can turn a fast lap, a good hot lap, but that's not what matters. You got to be able to consistently turn good laps.
Well, I think you also have to be cautious, and Powell cannot put himself in a position where he is going to tear his car up. Right now, if he just keeps doing what he's doing, he's going to fare better than some of his, counterparts. So he just has to be smart. And what is that? Slow and steady wins the race. And I think that's what he needs to kind of concentrate on. As Matt DeCiani continues to lead this field, but he has got Derek Heitman, who's going to be wheeling right behind him. And way to go, Derek. Hopefully he can actually close this thing tonight. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, looking at Derek Heitman, he's running some very good laps right now. Still not enough to really catch up there to Matt DeCiani, though. But, I mean, if he's able to use that strategy that he pulled at many of the other road courses, I think that he could find himself in position at least to have the clean air and, hopefully be able to hold off a driver like DeCiani.
Yeah, Mark Padgett found a little bit of speed there on that last lap as he just laid down a 1.20.587 second, third fastest. Nope, sorry. Yeah, second fastest to the leader.
Yeah, definitely some good laps coming out of that 0-2 camp. And, he's another one, just like Clayton Hoffman, that's pretty safe right now. He's got quite a bit of points. I mean, he's found himself on the podium, more often than not here in the last few weeks. As he comes up here on Andrew Griesbaum, going to be the battle for 4th place on your screen. Let's take a nice cockpit camera here from Mark Pageant. Kind of see some of the information there on your screen showing his pace as he was able to get right around Andrew Griesbaum. Griesbaum coming in on the entry here. And I think that's why Mark Pageant is showing a lot of speed right now. One thing about these tracks, you got to be, not really too much worried about entry quite as much, but being worried about your exit. So you got to back that corner up. That's kind of the nature of road racing. Slow is fast, as they say.
Absolutely, that's the easiest way to explain what you got to do to get around this place, man. You really got to be as smooth as possible, really kind of rounding it off and knowing when to throw it in and when to roll it out.
And Mark Pageant is on the move right now. He is running down Greg Wachinski, so he's already looking for that third place position.
Yeah, I want whatever he had because it's definitely got him running around this place at the pace and the speed that he needs to.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've heard, Greg Wachinski's been doing quite a few races here also and has been running some really fast laps. I mean, I know when I was watching him, I think he hit a minute 20 at some point, but it looks like he is not able to really replicate that speed here. One thing about the ISCA that a lot of people don't realize is these guys have a 75% fuel tank. That could change the handling of the race car.
Yeah, but the more laps you run here, the better you're going to be. Wachinski would definitely be better on Saturday than he is tonight. So, and he's going to be better as this race goes on as well. Just got to, you cannot keep driving this thing with your mirror. You got to drive ahead. You can't worry about what Pageant's doing. Be plenty of time to deal with Pageant later. But right now, just keep the car on the road.
Yeah, 100%. As we see Mark Pageant starting to really lay into Greg Wachinski's gap here. Also want to give a shout out to Kenny Powell. I know he's not running spectacularly right now. He's in 6th place. The man's sick, Big Al. I mean, he's still out here running, though. Nothing stops him from getting to the racetrack.
Yeah, he still wrecked the field a couple weeks ago.
Oh, man.
No, yeah, man. Hopefully Kenny does feel better. This Mark Pageant has definitely caught up to Greg Wachinski now, so I don't know if Wachinski's going to yield as they're going to be coming around. Wachinski put the hammer down there.
I haven't talked a whole lot about the conditions of the racetrack here tonight. Of course, this is a 2.24-mile racetrack in the city of Concord. 89 degrees is the air temp. 105 degrees is the track temp. So kind of hot out there, probably making a little bit of some stickiness for these drivers here. The wind is what's really most concerning, though. Almost 14 mile an hour to the west. As this battle continues to take place, we watch Greg Wachinski trying to hold on to third place position. I mean, this is for stage points. Of course, I don't believe Wachinski is in the playoffs here. So unfortunate for him, But, I mean, hey, every point he could take away from Mark Pageant is a point that I think he could, maybe even help out his teammate, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, but you gotta really yield, though, especially when you have a playoff driver anywhere around you like that. And you're not. That's the courteous thing to do. So, and there he goes.
Wow, just dives it in. Definitely gets on those turtles pretty hard. And one thing about this track that a lot, that really is danger is for these drivers is those turtles. You be aggressive and you get into them a little too hard, it could cause significant damage on that race car.
Yeah, the cool thing is we got racing going on all around the racetrack right now, as we are literally 2 laps here to go before this first stage is actually going to be in the books. And with that, I mean, Paul Osen is going to be fighting for his proverbial life here because he is going to be close to actually going a lap down.
Yeah, Matt DeCiani's not going to slow down there to save him, just considering, I mean, he's got Derek Heitman not far behind him.
The Heitman is too close for comfort to actually for him to slow down.
And what I'm seeing a lot right now is Matt DeCiani in these oval portions is starting to really drive away from Derek Heitman, but it's, it just kind of shows how some guys are better in certain portions of the racetrack. Road courses really accentuate that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to tell you, I think Heitman is definitely going to be pitting regardless.
Yeah, definitely could very well be the case. And, also a strategy we haven't really thought about is, maybe short pitting the whole stage itself. Maybe that final, right before stage 2 kind of comes to an end. That could be even a bigger way to get track position.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're further in the back, maybe where Wachinski and Griesbaum are, yeah, maybe you could definitely do that. But, I don't know if we're going to have a lot of takers down pit road here once the caution does come out.
Yeah, I do believe we are on the white flag lap here. Well, no, I do believe we have 2 to go right now.
And looks like the leaders are coming right up onto the 43. Probably not the best time to catch old Paul.
No, definitely not. Unfortunate for him. I mean, he's just never been really the biggest road course racer, but, looks like he's going to be respectful, gets down on the apron there, but he's going to lose a lot of time doing that.
Well, yeah, that's fine, though. He'll get his lap back.
Yeah, but one thing about getting a lucky dog at a road course, you almost have to turn qualifying laps to even get back up to the other drivers and have the opportunity to pit.
Is there a lucky dog? I don't. There usually isn't a lucky dog on road courses.
I do believe there definitely, most certainly is. But yeah, and a lot of like the IndyCar series, there's not a lucky dog. But I do believe, yeah. I mean, I think every road course we've seen thus far here in the ISCA, we have seen guys get that lucky dog. I think even Paul Olson has been the recipient of it before. As we have gotten to the white flag here for the stage, top 10 have to cross the start-finish line before we see that yellow flag.
Okay, because, there's no lucky dog, no such thing in road racing. That's all I was wondering.
Oh, yeah, I definitely get exactly what you were saying. I just think in NASCAR, I'm pretty sure they still get it, though. But Matt DeCiani looks like he's going to be going on to win stage number 1. He's on the backstretch right now, just a few more corners. And he's got 1.5 seconds back to Derek Heitman. Heitman has been consistently trying to chase him down.
Yeah, but they're not done yet. They still got to wait all the way until the 11 of Don Avery makes it all the way back around. Because he is currently in, well, I think they'll call it before that. I think they'll just call all of the lead lap cars.
Yeah, because you see Don Avery actually is 7 laps down right now. Speaking of laps down, Paul Olson, of course, just went a lap down. I just mentioned Don Avery. Clayton Hoffman is 10 laps down along with Randy Drumhiller.
This is going to get a little bit tricky because now they're coming up onto the back of the 88, and they're going to pass him before he gets to the line. So I think once they pass him, then maybe the caution will come out.
Yeah, definitely could be the case. And if there is lucky dogs here, I do believe that would give Al Kozlowski it and kind of rob Paul Olson there.
Yeah, but this isn't doing Kozlowski any favors because he needs to get his car worked on. But yeah, not in the way that it's currently being worked on.
Yeah, one thing about these road courses, even though they're quite large, when you're on pace laps, that you would think that means you got a lot of time to work on it. But, I mean, the longer you stay down there, the easier it is that you're going to fall way behind the field, trying to catch back up.
And I don't think the 88 is going to yield the position. I think he is going to fight to maintain his spot on the lead lap. Now, those lead lap cars have definitely got to be wondering what the hell's going on. But, it's just a situation that we're in, having such a small field here.
Yeah, definitely is. We see Al Kozlowski is going to be crossing the start-finish line here, so caution should be coming out here shortly. As they actually completed an extra lap here. That's going to shorten up stage number 2.
Yeah, that's going to kill their fuel.
This caution still has not came out here.
So it's programmed to come out.
There we go.
There. Okay, good deal.
So these guys completed an extra lap. That's going to change a whole lot here as we conclude stage number 1. And it looks like Matt DeCiani able to hold on to that position. He was being really pressured by the 76, though, so I would not be surprised to see that 76 come up there and pressure him some more in stage number 2. But let's run down to the field here.
And because right where they were located at, they're almost going to run yet an almost entirely another lap, an entire whole nother lap just to catch back up to the pace car. So, yeah, sorry, Matt DeCiani obviously won in stage 1. Derek Heitman second, Mark Paget third, Greg Wachinski fourth, Andrew Griesbaum in fifth, Kenny Powell sixth, Wayne Grossi seventh, Al Keselowski in eighth with Paul Osen in ninth, and Donna Avery, those last top 10 points paying positions. With that, let's step away, get it over for our mild sponsors, and be right back.
Woo! Papa John's just took
Man, I
that
ain't mean to
fresh,
cut you
never
off.
frozen dough and hand stretched it into thin, oversized
But
New
yeah,
York
see,
style slices.
they almost had to go all the
look
way
at
around
that
again just to get back
crust.
to the pace car.
That is the perfect crust thickness no matter how you eat it. So you can fold it or not.
But the fuel still
But ain't
does.
no lie, though, I fold it. Get a New York style pizza from Papa John's. Better
That's got the
ingredients,
feel of
better
all kinds
pizza.
of spread out too.
Hey everybody, my name is Warren Maddox. I am the president of Ultimate Experience Outdoors. Our mission, we are dedicated to taking veterans, first responders, youth, and Gold Star family members on outdoor excursions across the country.
Support for our mission has many forms, from camp cooks to the great storytellers, some buddies with the band, maybe you just want to build a campfire and sit around and listen. Nothing goes unnoticed.
Camaraderie is reborn. The acceptance among the men and women that took an oath.
Whether it was decades ago or recently renewed, but never forgotten.
If you feel like you could help us, please visit our website, www.uxonation.org.
Or there, you can register to hunt, sign up to sponsor an event, or even donate to us so we can continue to execute our mission.
Oh my gosh, I feel comfortable, bro. We get a hug. What have you done, Jim?
We need your help to hold the line once again.
Welcome back, everyone. We have some racing here left to go as we're going to be entering stage 2. Of course, have not seen pit stops yet. I do believe we're going to be coming up on pit road right now. That's kind of one of the things about these road courses. It takes a long time to complete these pace laps. And we're still unknown if we're going to see Paul Olsen actually get his lap back. I have to wait and see here, but Matt DeCiani definitely going to be loving every bit of these stage points. But I think the real race is going to be, towards the end of this thing. I mean, because if you win this race, there's no question whether you're going to be in the playoffs or not. Of course, I don't believe the 76 Derek Heitman is really too much concerned with that. I don't believe he's actually a contender.
Man, looks like everybody's coming down pit road.
Yeah, and we kind of were talking about it during the break about, kind of that, that going an extra lap there really messed with, I think, the fuel numbers a little bit there, kind of extended it a little bit. So maybe that strategy we were talking about before might not be as, useful, I'd say.
Yeah, Donna Avery is going to be the only one to actually stay out because he had just actually rejoined the group. They're having to get some required repairs done, but good to see him back out there actually rolling with us again.
100%. Look at that. Matt DeCiani able to get off of pit road first here. Great job on him as I do believe he did not take tires. Let's grab him up and have a conversation with our stage 1 winner. What do you say, Big Al? Alrighty, we got him here in the booth. Matt DeCiani, stage 1 winner. Definitely a solid performance so far. But we saw Derek Heitman was closing in on you there towards the end of it. Was that a little bit concerning for you?
No, not really. I mean, we were pretty equal. The stage ended at lap, when I crossed the line on lap 11, and we just because of the way it was spread out, we were. It was like we were just waiting. We had to wait for the stage to end anyways, and we were just chilling there, so not to burn anything up. But yeah, I mean, Derek's got a good car, and yeah, so.
Now I know. I mean, you've kind of been, I'd say, struggling maybe a little bit. Maybe not the best term to describe it, but I know the last few weeks you haven't really had that race-winning pace that we've usually seen from you. How does it feel to come to a track like this and have it back a little bit? What does that do for your confidence?
Yeah, I mean, it's a road course. You can't really compare these to other tracks. I'm just naturally pretty good here. So, but I mean, yeah, it's good for confidence. I mean, I haven't really had too much pressure in the playoffs just because of the point situation. So, haven't really, maybe let's say experimenting, but a little bit. But next round will be very interesting.
Yeah, we definitely can't wait to see what that looks like for sure, man. I know you guys are probably getting ready to get it back going here. Who can we give a shout out before we let you get back to it?
Well, thanks to you guys up in the booth. Thanks for Kenny putting on the league. Thanks to EPI. Michael Conti built another good setup this week. And yeah, thanks, guys.
All righty. Thanks, Matt. We'll talk to you later. Good luck.
Thank you.
That was Matt DeCiani, our Stage 1 winner, and definitely says he feels at home at this place, Big Al. What do you make of that?
I mean, yeah, he looks it. He looks very calm, very poised.
I think you might have been right, too. I don't see Paul Olson. I don't believe he got his lap back. So you could be right. No lucky dogs here tonight, so that makes it even more important not to go a lap down. No wonder Al Kozlowski was fighting so hard to stay on the lead lap there.
Yeah, 1 to green looks like Don Avery should be sliding back to let the whole field kind of pass by.
Yeah, definitely should be here. Of course, he is, I do believe, 6 laps down, so this is an attempt to get a lap back, I would assume, but does not look like he's getting that wave around. Pace car lights are out, so, this time by, we're going to be, oh, yeah, there he goes. That's unfortunate, because usually, I would expect that he should have got a wave around right there, but it could just be, like you said, road course rules, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
As he drops all the way to the end. And definitely a big move for, I do believe, Greg Wachinski there. He moves up, I think he's in 2nd place right now. Big moves on pit road. Derek Heitman, I think he might have taken tires. Let me see what time. He spent 14.6 seconds in the box. So a little bit of a different strategy there for the 76. He's always the one that does take the different strategies. Of course, now that we're getting ready to get the call to green, we got Jeffrey Souza joining us up here in the booth. Going to be calling it with us for Stage 2. A little bit of a shortened Stage 2, Jeffrey, but we're glad to have you.
Yeah, I'm happy to be watching tonight. Took a break off from racing tonight, but I'd be happy to watch and help you guys.
100%. We appreciate it. Love to have some guests up here. Big Al says he's going to take a break. I hope he does not.
It just gets crowded in here when it's just 3 people. No, I'm just kidding, man. Welcome, Jeffrey, man. I'm just messing around.
No, I've been watching the broadcast so far, and you guys have done a great job explaining just how treacherous this track really is. It's not easy, and I told Kenny before the race, I told him I can't race. I've been busy with school stuff, and I've taken no laps. So I didn't want to put myself out there and possibly take other people out. Better off sitting in for this one.
Yeah, this is definitely not a place where you want to come in and go cold, A lot of times we'll actually talk to drivers at the end and we'll ask, well, how many laps did you put down? And we've Brian, we've heard people say they had not practiced at all, so.
And still won the race.
Not here.
Here we go. Green flag seems to be back out in the air as the pace car has dipped down pit road.
Green, green, green.
And there it is, green flag out. Of course, most of these guys, like you mentioned before, Big Al, wait until they got it straight to really put the power down. But what a start there from Matt DeCiani. Greg Wachinski under fire from the 76 of Derek Heitman.
Yeah, man, looks like Wayne Grossi drove it hard there into turn one. He's smoking them up. They're pretty good. I know definitely had Heitman's eyes wide open.
Yeah, I think all these guys are driving with their eyes open. So from what you've seen so far, Jeffrey, I mean, who do you think the one to watch is here tonight?
Well, based on what we've had in the last few road courses this season, I definitely think EPI have shown their power. Derek winning back at the Indy road course, as well as our friends from Brazil putting on a really dominant showing at Road America and at Watkins Glen, winning on a fuel strategy, but also being up front the whole time. So if you ask me tonight, I think who I'm watching is probably the 76 of Heitman. I think he might be able to work the strategy, like you were saying, to get himself up there ahead of Matt. I think whoever's going to be in the lead come that last stage, green flag, I think they're going to be able to really try to foot across the field here.
Yeah, I mean, Matt DeCiani, though, has been doing an excellent job here so far tonight, and has been really putting on a masterclass on how to get around this place. Seems like he's really good at it. And you talk about the strategy that Derek Heitman could possibly take, but that strategy, in a lot of ways, somehow has been robbed in a little bit, because the times we've seen that strategy that he pulls off with pitting in stage one, everybody pitted in stage one except for Don Avery, which was 6 laps down. I mean, I don't really know I don't know if it's going to work for him. Maybe taking less gas. I mean, what other strategies could we use, Jeffrey? I mean, like, when would you pit, in the final stage, like splitting it in half? What would you do?
Well, like we said, the first stage we had that extra lap when everyone came around the track. So that first stage was kind of abnormally. This stage is supposed to end at the end of 22, which means we're going to have roughly, I would say, 33 laps to go when we do take that green. So if it was up to me, I'd probably try to pit as soon as my window opens. Based on what we've seen, tires are hardly wearing, if not faster, on old tires. So if you can pit as soon as your window opens and take as little fuel as you possibly need to, that few seconds in pit road could really make the difference on track.
Yeah, guys, another thing that is definitely happening right now, Wayne Grossi definitely off the pace there on that last lap. Not sure what happened. Maybe that was a result of him actually smoking his tires or whatever, but he actually even lost a couple positions. So definitely watching to see what's going on. 7.
Looks like he's sliding the tires there, locking the brakes up a little bit. That's going to give Andrew Griesbaum a chance here. We also saw Greg Wachinski lose the position to Derek Heitman. Kind of smacked the wall there coming into the oval portions of the racetrack. Wasn't a huge hit, but definitely was enough to make him lose that position, as we see Grossi trying to hang on here as the 78 desperate probably to get as many positions as he can. I mean, Grossi's trying to get into the next round also, so there's a lot of battling going on, and Grossi has missed, I do believe, the last couple races, just considering he's had some technical issues, I do believe, with his sim rig.
Yeah, and the thing is, these guys, they're driving like they're desperate right now, and I think that even had something to do with the 5 car kind of getting the pressure from the 76 of Heitman maybe running into the wall. So just watching how these guys are going to actually hold on to that pressure, because, we're getting into the thick of things here.
Yeah, like you said there with Wayne, these are the two that are currently racing for that last transfer position, with Paul Olson having issues early on there, Andrew Layton not here, I don't think, this evening, and obviously Chris Johnson not here as well. So we got some people up front there that, we do know that the 31 of Mark Sanchez will be moving on, as he won last week at Talladega, but coming into this race, it was only about a 4-point gap on that cut line. So I know we don't have too many cars here today, but with four points being the difference in stage points being awarded at both stage ends, this definitely could be an interesting race here to the end.
Yeah, these guys they're gonna need to get as many points as they can while they can, and unfortunately, you're only gonna get those at the end of the stage break. So yeah, these guys they're fighting for a lot of dough here.
They really are. I mean, and you see Randy Drumhiller, having his issues early in the event, and smacking that wall literally on the first lap there, and kind of putting him down pit road with a black flag, meatball flag, I should say. That almost, do you not say that guarantees him out, Jeffrey?
Yeah, I would say at this point, he was 11 points off that cut line coming in. With only 12 cars here tonight, he would have needed a plentiful amount of stage points and a really solid finish over Grease Bomb. So not having those stage points in the first stage there, and now being pretty much out of it now, it's not too good for Randy unless some big things happen. But we've seen things happen crazy before. I don't think he's going to get the miracle he'll need here tonight, though.
Yeah, and we see also Clayton Hoffman, back there, I do believe in 11th place, didn't turn a whole lot of laps here tonight, kind of starting park in a lot of ways. I don't know if he maybe had an issue or something like that, but I mean, he's probably guaranteed to go on to the next round, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I did see, I was talking to Mark Pageant there, you can see on the screen now, when they were coming down to the green, and he did say that Clayton got in some sort of incident early on there. So for Clayton, he was locked in coming into this race, as we know, due to his points, the plentiful amount of playoff points he had built up during the regular season. So for him, this was kind of just come out here and try to get more playoff points to go to round 3, which looks like Matt Desiani is the one that's going to be getting those playoff points, at least at this point, to move on for the next round.
Yeah, he definitely seems like that. Definitely doing a great job out here. Very confident at this racetrack. I mean, we kind of talked to him during his interview, and he seemed like, he says, I know this place like, or he didn't really say this, I'm paraphrasing, but he said that he kind of knows this place like the back of his hand, just automatically kind of good at this track. And I had mentioned that over the last several weeks, he hasn't been the Matt DeCiani that we kind of expect. We usually expect him to be in the talks about who's going to win this race, but really hasn't been there. And he kind of even cleared it up a little bit in his interview, saying that, hey, I haven't really been trying that hard. I haven't been really, trying to risk it. And, just shows now he's turning it on. I mean, this next round, he's going to turn it on.
Hey, can I tell you guys something? I admire and I love what you guys are saying, but I think you might want to pass that over with Mark Paget as well, because I mean, if you watch what Paget's doing, he's kind of on a tear down there. I mean, he's got the fastest lap on the racetrack.
Oh wow!
And
that he does.
He is reeling into 76 pretty quick here.
Yeah, one thing about Mark Pageant that we've seen, a lot lately too is, the last round he was podium. I mean, this guy just eats, sleeps, and breathes podiums, wouldn't you say, Jeffrey?
Yeah, Mark's really put the time in as we got in the playoffs here. I know he had to miss a couple races during the regular season there due to work situations, but he's been able to put the time in, the past 5 or 6 weeks here to be up there contending for these races. And, I told him at Texas after I won on that 2-tire stop, at the end of the race, I was saying to him, multiple days after the race, I was still telling him, I'm sorry for stealing that one. Because I really thought, I know Heitman was catching him there right towards the end, but with Heitman having issues on the pit stop, if I wouldn't have taken 2 tires, he would have won that race. But I helped him a lot last week at Talladega, tried to help him get the win. He ended up in an incident, but it's just shown that if you put the time in to get better, you definitely will. And like you guys were saying, practicing at a road course, he's been doing it all week long. So I'm not surprised that he's pretty fast tonight.
Yeah, he is looking really fast right now. A minute 19.785 last time by. I do believe one of the fastest on the track, even faster than the leader that just widened across the line, and he is really running down Derek Heitman. And what tell us about some of the intimidation factors at a track like this. When you see a yellow car like Mark Pageant coming up into your review, what do you think is a 76?
I definitely think it's tough as the person somebody's catching you, you can see on your relative that they're catching you, and you just like keep watching and watching and watching, and every lap you'll overdrive that entry a little bit, getting this ride a little bit too hard, slide the tires a little bit too much. And I've done this enough on road courses to know that I do it personally myself. You just start overdriving the car and hurting yourself. You're better off turning off that relative, turning off that mirror, hitting your marks instead of letting the person behind you dictate what marks you're hitting. So if you're Derek right now, shut off that relative, block out your mirror, or just don't look at it. Hit what you need to hit your markers on the walls, your 1, 2, 3, wherever you're braking. Don't smoke the tires, and don't light them up on exit of the turns.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of wisdom to that for sure. I mean, it looks like I'm telling you, I'm seeing the 76 has been really, really strong on the oval portions of this racetrack. And that just really goes to show you, I mean, you could be much better at one portion of the track than the other. And, that's the one thing about road courses. This kind of makes it a little bit interesting. You kind of look at that driver, watch him, look at his weaknesses, and try to figure out how you can best him and win the pass.
Definitely. And like you said, with this being a Roval, it's very difficult to set up the car to be good in the infield and to be good on the big oval and the corners. I know the last time I built a setup for here, you were basically holding on for dear life coming off oval turn 4 down into that front stretch chicane because the rear end would start bottoming out and it would want to step out on you. So getting the car platformed for the infield sections, getting enough downforce down there, but also not being way high in the corners and being way slow on the big straightaways. It's a tough balance, but it seems like these EPI guys have figured out that exact balance. And like we've been saying, Mark, close with those times, if not a little bit faster. Those top 3 right now have this place down, it looks like, and they are class of the field.
Yeah,
we just sorry, Big Al, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, we just crossed the start-finish line to start lap 23, so caution should be coming out any time here to end stage number 2. Jeffrey, we wish you'd stay on for the final stage, man. You've been helping us out quite a bit out here. I mean, we love the wisdom and inputs from you.
Yeah, love the insight.
Yeah, I've had a good time helping you guys out, and maybe I'll go out to next week at Vegas, win that race at Vegas, and I can join you guys for the last 2 races before we go off playoff racing for a championship. But I'm happy that you guys had me up here to help, and I'm going to jump back down and help out Mark and Don for the rest of this one.
All right, man. Well, can we get a quick shout-out from you before we let you get out of here?
Yeah, I like everyone, every week I say it, Triad Racing. Everybody over there just really, we need them. Everyone that works over there, we appreciate everything they do. So without them, I wouldn't have been moved on already in this round, and Mark wouldn't be moved on either. So thanks to all of them, and thanks to you guys for doing this every week for us.
No problem at all. That is Jeffrey Souza helping us out there in stage number 2. Stage 2 has finally gotten to its conclusion. Matt DeCiani, our winner here in stage 1 and 2. So he sweeps both of them. Derek Heitman, 2nd place again. 3rd place, Mark Pageant. 4th place, Greg Wachinski. 5th place, Kenny Powell. 6th place, Wayne Grossi. 7th, Andrew Griesbaum. 8th place, Al Kozlowski. 9th place, Paul Olson. 10th place, Don Avery. And that is the top 10 points-paying positions there. We're going to go ahead and take a brief step away. We'll be right back with our, I do believe, let's talk to Derek Heitman after this one. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, my name is Warren Maddox. I am the president of Ultimate Experience Outdoors. Our mission, we are dedicated to taking veterans, first responders, youth, and Gold Star family members on outdoor excursions across the country.
Support for our mission has many forms, from camp cooks to the great storytellers, some buddies with the band, maybe you just want to build a campfire and sit around and listen. Nothing goes unnoticed.
Camaraderie is reborn. The acceptance among the men and women that took an oath.
Whether it was decades ago or recently renewed, but never forgot.
If you feel like you could help us, please visit our website, www.uxonation.org.
There, you can register to hunt, sign up to sponsor an event, or even donate to us so we can continue to execute our mission.
Oh my gosh, I feel comfortable, bro. We get a hug, man. What have you done, Jim?
We need your help to hold the line once again.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we just concluded stage number 2. As everybody's going to be taking their trip down pit road. Tires going to be kind of the question mark. I'm not sure what we'll see here. Looks like Derek Heitman is taking tires. See, Matt DeCiani does not lift up, so he is not taking tires. Mark Pageant is going to move up to that second place position. Greg Wachinski, do you believe, third? But let's go ahead and grab up the 76 driver. What do you think, Big Al? He's been doing great tonight. You want to talk to him?
Hey, Derek. This is Big Al up at the booth. You got me?
What's up, big guy?
Hey, man. How's it feeling down there? Looks like you're having a good time, but, man, where did Mark Paget come from?
I ain't too worried about him, honestly, because I can hold him off just fine. I just made some mistakes to get him to, let him catch up to me a little too much. But, I just got myself in a little bit of predicament after that pit stop, so I got some work to do now.
So you took 4 tires on the last pit stop. Was that the reason why you were down so long there on pit road there at the end of stage 1?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys remember from Indy Road and Watkins Glen, I took tires on the first stage. Those times too, just because it feels like the tire wear has I know everyone's like, you don't want to take tires, but there is a limit to it, and I feel like that limit to it happens when there's about 5 to 6 laps to go in the final stage, is what I've been feeling. So I just took tires again at the end of stage 2. I said, fuck it, we're gonna make a green flag pit stop anyways. So we'll just see what happens, I suppose. Be a little off cycle here.
Yeah, so definitely looks like you've been putting in quite a few laps. How many laps have you turned thus far this week on this track?
Oh my gosh, I've actually only ran 2 officials, and I've meatballed in both of them. But also both of them that I meatballed, this damage model's so broke. I meatballed in both of them and had less than 20 seconds of required repair, but like 5 minutes of optional. So, I mean, I've top 5'd in both of them, but not much practice. First time at the Roval, a lot of NASCAR Heat 5, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, good deal. Looks like you definitely got it figured out, man. Well, congratulations there on bringing it home in second place so far on both of the stages. Hopefully you can bump it up another notch there at the end of this thing, maybe get it, down victory lane. But we're going to let you get back to work. But before I let you go, man, who you going to do a mini shout out to?
Oh, the mini shout out is always racecpi.com. Always get there, get your setups. You can see us every week dominating in these races. Michael Conti does a good job, so.
All right. Well, thanks you for your time, sir, and we'll see you here hopefully at the end of this thing.
Thank you very much, Al.
Alrighty, that was Derek Heitman. Finished second place in both stages. Going to be, I do believe, restarting, if I'm not mistaken, 5th place here. Matt DeCiani, of course, going to be starting on the pole here for this restart. as we are getting closer and closer to that illustrious halfway point. Of course, this stage could feature a green flag pit stop, Big Al.
Absolutely, and I can't wait. That's my most favorite thing in the whole world, green flag pit stops.
100%, but look at Mark Pageant going to have a really good shot at it this time, but I loved how Derek Heitman didn't seem like he's like, I'm not concerned with Heitman, or with Pageant. I don't know if he should. I think he should be now, though, because now he's in front of him. I mean, he was just saying, yeah, I could hold him off, but can Pageant hold him off? That's the question, I do believe, and can Pageant have a good enough start here to where he can even get in front of the one? I mean, it's possible.
Well, he's definitely got the speed.
That he does. Of course, pace car lights are out. We're getting ready to get this thing back underway. We're on lap 23. Kenny Powell moving up the grid here. Going to be starting there, I do believe, in third with Greg Wyszynski. I'm sorry, Greg Wyszynski, I think, is going to be starting third. Or, yeah, Kenny Powell is starting third, Greg Wyszynski in fourth. So G&G starting to maybe collect themselves a little bit here. Al Kozlowski still staying alive also. I think that's the whole point there, Big Al, staying alive. But still, Al Kozlowski's kind of been getting closer and closer to maybe going a lap down. We almost saw, I think he was like 50 seconds behind the leader during that last stage. So could we see him go a lap down during this final one?
Yeah, we're hoping that maybe it was due to the damage that his car has received, but we just got to keep watching, man, because maybe he'll find his groove. He's definitely going to need it. Now, and you're right, Mark Pageant being up front, I think that changes the ball game just for a little bit, because I think he definitely has the legs to get out front, and if he does, I don't know if these guys will be able to reel him in.
Yeah, I mean, he showed a lot of pace there on the longer run. Green flag is back out in the air, and you also heard Derek Heitman say that, hey, these guys are not taking tires because they think it's going to work out for them, but, I mean, maybe he's onto something here as we see some battling. Mark Pageant right there on the rear end of the one of Matt DeCiani. Kenny Powell slingshots his way up to third.
Yeah, just a little bit of contact there between the two and the one.
Yeah, we see some battling going on here. The 76 trying to hold off Greg Wyszynski as he moves his way up into fourth place.
Wyszynski definitely starts off a little bit faster, and then he kind of fades a little bit as the run goes on. So Heitman, though, definitely going to have to do what he said. And like you said, he can hold off the best of them. Just hopefully Wyszynski has the patience to stay back there.
Yeah, and I think that, we've kind of seen the tire wear mean a whole lot more than we kind of previously expected when we've seen it at previous road courses. But it seems like it actually does mean something a little bit here. So maybe Wyszynski is kind of heating him up a little bit too much. What a fantastic performance here from Kenny Powell, up into third position, highest he's been all night right now as we turn on to lap 25. Of course, these guys have a 25-lap fuel run, which means they will not make it to the end of this stage without having to have a pit stop. Of course, we talked to Jeffrey Souza, and he kind of said that he would pit as soon as the window opens. So it's literally just a couple laps probably away from that. I mean, maybe 5 more laps.
Yeah, that's going to be the delta, because a lot of guys are going to be trying different things. That's why they call them strategies. And this is going to be one of those places where you definitely get to try it out, because you're not going to have to wait for a caution. No cautions on road courses. So, we'll be waiting to see when everybody decides to come down. Pageant still not able to get around the one of Matt DeCiani.
Yeah, it seems like definitely having troubles, but we've seen, Pageant seems like he's good, better on the longer run here. Of course, both of...
Oh, Powell gets into Heitman. Heitman gets into Powell. Powell spins out, and then Heitman spins around, also getting into contact with the 5 of Wyszynski.
Taking a quick replay here. Check this accident out. We see, oh wow, a little bit of contact there to the back of the 24 there as they were getting through the chicanes. Kind of see what happened here to the 76 as this happened. Looks like he was fine. And then Wachinski comes up and cleans him out. So big championship hope championship implications from this, wouldn't you say?
I'd say.
I mean, we know Randy Drumhiller, I think he's effectively out of the running for the playoffs, but other drivers still could fall victim to that cut. Could Kenny Powell, you know?
Well, I'll tell you, that's definitely going to give those guys something to talk about here at the end of this thing.
Yeah, definitely will. Of course, Kenny Powell now falls back to the 8th place position. Derek Heitman sitting in 7th, so that puts Greg Wachinski back up on the podium.
Yeah, if I was Heitman, I'd go ahead and come on down pit road now that the window's open.
Well, the window's not actually open yet, Big Al. Of course, we have, I do believe, a little under 30 laps remaining here. So 25 is the fuel window. I think they got to go 5 more.
Yeah, as soon as the window opened, I'd go ahead and come back down.
You know, he's got to be definitely upset with that situation. But, I mean, both of those guys, I think, have a right to be upset with each other in a lot of ways. I mean, you know, Heitman came up on Kenny Powell, and Powell definitely was racing him. But Powell, I think, probably has definitely a right to be upset, just considering, you know, you kind of cleaned him out, wasn't really patient with him. I'm sure. Not sure, though.
Oh, definitely. They're both going to be upset. But what I'm saying is, you know, you got to have a short memory. So these guys got to get back into it. Because, you know, the same way that this happened to them, it could happen to somebody else. Now, Heitman does have he has problems finishing. I think that's a lot of the issues that, you know, because he runs strong up front, but then, you know, just like sometimes just has real bad luck.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, that's just one of them things to where you're chasing that carrot in a lot of ways. You know, he sees himself, you know, but he kind of put himself in a little bit of a desperation mode there, you know, losing spots on pit road, even though, yeah, he had the tire advantage, you know, he kind of came up to the backing like that, but he was kind of falling victim to that carrot on a stick mentality, or, you know.
Well, these guys are driving hard. They're driving hard all around the racetrack. And, you know, it's like Mr. Sousa said, you know, you just kind of got to block out the guy that's behind you. But Heitman is kind of, like you said, he kind of chasing that rabbit, you know, that carrot.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
That pizza. Papa John's the race sponsor tonight.
You gotta be patient.
What a great job, though, from the 78 here of Andrew Griesbaum. Right now running in the top 5. I do believe he might be in a good spot to move on to the next round. I mean, he's had quiet races, has not really shown like that race-winning pace or anything like that, but he's always been in the top 10 conversation.
Yeah, his luck just changed. And as long as he can keep his nose clean, I mean, you might be onto something. He could definitely find himself in a very, very good position here at the end of this thing.
And also Wayne Grassi. I mean, he's another one that probably would be very close to that cut line or being below it. You know, he's fine. He's in 4th place right now. It's a good night for him. He's got some stage points. He needs a race like this.
Yeah, just hope he doesn't heat those tires up too much, because I think that's what's kind of been happening. The Wayne gets his tires kind of heated up, and then his handling goes away. And, you know, this is a longer stage, as we are halfway through the race right now.
You also look at Al Kozlowski. I mean, he's sitting in 8th place right now. Not the best day. You've kind of mentioned it before. He's been pretty much struggling the entire race. Hasn't given up. Glad to see that. He is still on the lead lap. But one thing about it, though, he could find himself maybe on the outside looking in, depending on how these standings kind of fall. I can't wait to see what the actual results are. I think I have been assured that by the end of our interviews tonight, we should have who makes it and who doesn't kind of for us and all the audience out there.
Man, we still got a lot of racing left to go, though. So I wouldn't start crowning anybody just yet.
No.
I mean, these standings change real quick here, especially just around a couple of turns. Wachinski now finds himself all the way back up to third place, so he has got to be feeling pretty good about that. And I think Greg's had a top 5 car all night, definitely solidifying that, being all the way up to third place. But now I'm going to be watching to see if Grassi can actually close the gap on him, because like you said, he is running from the 78, because both of these guys are around the cut line, and the 76 is back on his horse, and he's going to be riding that thing hard into town as well.
100%. You mentioned the fuel window. Well, guess what? It is opening, I do believe, right now, as these guys are about 25 laps to go. So, I mean, we heard Sousa talk about as soon as that window opens, kind of, you need to step through it, go on down. Some guys might not be thinking that. We'll have to wait and see what the strategy calls are going to be. What kind of, difference does it make? Matt DeCiani, though, has been putting on an absolute clinic here. Has led almost every lap. I do believe he's led every lap.
Goes to 76 now, powers around the 78 at Greasebomb.
Yeah, I would say the 76 probably driving on pure anger right now. Sometimes the road course and that don't mix, but it looks like it's working out fine for him, as he is definitely one of the fastest drivers on the track right now. Third fastest, I do believe. Of course, Matt DeCiani last time by was able to hit a minute 19.852. That was the fastest lap on the track that last time.
Yeah, tell me clean air doesn't matter.
You won't hear me tell you that, but I don't even know if Mark Pageant's really suffering from any dirty air, just considering he's over almost 4 seconds back. So Pageant's not trending in the right direction, I'd say. Of course, he's looking good. I mean, we just were talking about that a little bit earlier, about how he has gotten so many podiums. This is going to be another one to add to that collection, and that's what a champion needs to be able to do. I mean, you come to these tracks and you get podiums. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to be on top, man, especially when this thing is over. Now, a big thing now is if these guys, they got to be able to get down pit road clean. That's going to be the key. You can't speed. You got to hit your marks. So we're going to be waiting to see when these guys start their green flag pit stops, and I think you're right. The window's open, so we're eagerly anticipating it.
100%. Looking at this, Greg Wachinski last time by able to turn his fastest lap of the race, a minute 20.704. So he has increased his speed by quite a large margin. Like, he has gotten himself into the zone, when you say, Big Al.
Yeah, and we said that these cars were going to get faster as the laps went on, and the drivers were going to get faster, and I think that's exactly what you're seeing right now.
And he has, definitely gotten the rhythm down pat. Only about 4 tenths off of the pace of the guys in front of him. As we're now on lap 32 here.
As the 76 now gets about a 7 of Grassi. That's going to put Wayne back to 5th place. And Derek Heitman continues his trudge right back through the field again.
Do apologize, Big Al. I heard a loud sound outside of my speakers here. As we see, you mentioned Derek Heitman able to get around Wayne Grassi, taking over that 4th place position. Some big moving here. He's got a long way to go, though, to get up there to Greg Wachinski. About 10 seconds in between these two drivers.
Now, Greg does kind of fall off a little bit, but now, this run, he has kind of been doing the opposite. He's kind of been maintaining, if you will.
Yeah, getting better and better in that DuPont Chevy. And the amount of focus it takes to be successful and be fast around this place is significant. I mean, these guys, it takes 100% of your focus. I mean, there's nothing you can't be looking at a text message. You know what I mean? You can't be doing anything. I mean, heck, even having some music playing in the background would probably be distracting at a road course.
F is classical.
Because you have to listen to that engine, too. I mean, that's a lot of the cues that you get for doing the right thing out here and hitting your marks. In fact, there's hardly any time out here on the racetrack to scratch your nose.
Andrew Griesbaum all the way back in 6th place now. Not actually able to close the gap to Wayne Grossi. I think these guys have kind of hit a wall there, Brian, as far as what their speed and handling is.
Yeah, for sure. But, I mean, I would not say it's all sewn up yet, though, as Griesbaum last time mine was a little bit, actually a little bit over a second faster than Wayne Grossi. But still, I mean, it's all going to be about consistency. Griesbaum could be faster one lap, but if Grossi can continue to maintain his pace, this is definitely the place to watch. Seeing, these guys maybe could end up losing their chances to go on to the next round just because of, that pass that Grossi was able to, or, just because Andrew Griesbaum can't catch him. You also see Don Avery right there, 7 laps down, still out here turning some good laps. I mean, surprised he hasn't given up. I mean, that's the picture of, I'd say, determination. Yeah.
Absolutely. Powell can't be happy. He is definitely off the pace a little bit.
And also another person that probably can't be too happy, Mark Pageant, now over 5 seconds behind Matt DeCiani. DeCiani is starting to pull away. Last lap from DeCiani was 1:19.929. As we see Pageant able to get around Paul Olson there.
I don't know, with 20 to go, I think Mark Paget's losing enough now with 35 laps that he should probably be looking at coming down pit road pretty soon.
Yeah, I would definitely probably do exactly what you just said. I think that would be the best course of action. He's struggling right now. I mean, could it be exactly what Derek Heitman said? I mean, about the tires. I mean, kind of starting to give up on these guys. I mean, they ran this whole race without taking a set of tires. Eventually, it's going to hit the limit. Even though it doesn't seem like the tires are wearing, I think they are starting to do exactly that. Definitely a very challenging track as we now have, I do believe, 20 laps remaining.
Yeah, I was feeding myself the wrong numbers there, so my North Carolina math was not working out. I was thinking these guys had way more laps in this stint than they have. So I apologize.
Yeah, but I mean, kind of still, these guys need to get probably down pit road as soon as possible. Not a lot of guys doing exactly what we heard Jeffrey Sousa say to do. As we see, actually, Greg Wyszynski.
Yeah, he's down pit road.
Let's see what he does. I think, see if he takes just tire. I don't believe he's taking tires, just taking fuel, looks like. Spending an awful lot of time in his box. Could he have gotten a penalty? That's something that we didn't even think about. But it looks like he's going to be rolling off, but spent quite a long time in that box. 22.1 or 21.2 seconds, Big Al. That is big. course, next week we'll be heading to looking at the amount of laps these guys have turned here. 14 laps for Matt DeCiani and Mark Pageant. Derek Heitman has worked his way back up into the third place position now. Of course, that is as a result of Greg Wychinski actually taking it down pit road. Wychinski, even though he did have that pit stop, spent so much time down there, actually did not lose a lap, so that was very surprising to see that.
Yeah, but he is going to lose valuable track position, though, Brian, and that's going to hurt just as much as anything. But he's not in the playoffs, right?
No, I do not believe he is. So definitely, good time to experiment for him. I'm surprised he spent so much time in the pit lane, though. I mean, kind of interesting to say the least here. Is Matt DeCiani still out front? Definitely has been putting together a spectacular performance. A lot of gaps in the pack here. Right now we look at Matt DeCiani. He's got about 6.5 seconds on Mark Pageant. Derek Heitman, he's about 35 seconds back from Matt DeCiani.
Yeah, Wayne Grossi definitely struggling there with his lap times.
And you kind of said that earlier about how he seems to struggle a little bit later.
Yeah, it'd be interested to see if Andrew Griesbaum could actually kind of get his feet underneath him and actually catch up to Grossi, at least put a little bit of pressure on him. Because we're going to be watching these two here intently as we got 17 laps to go. Because, I mean, where they finish is really going to matter as far as what they're doing next Thursday night.
Yeah, are they racing for a championship or are they just racing? I mean, it's definitely going to be important here if Andrew Griesbaum can catch up there to Wayne Grossi. But also, with Greg Wychinski spending as much time as he did on pit road, will that affect the standings there when it comes to the playoffs, too? Because, I mean, he was kind of acting as somewhat of a spoiler. See Don Avery, I do believe, getting around Wayne Grossi. That's going to slow him down a little bit and help out Andrew Griesbaum.
Yeah, Grossi kind of smoked his tires a little bit, locked him up going into the S's. And that allowed Don Avery to kind of slide by him.
Of course, I do believe Greg Wychinski, the only man that has went down pit road thus far.
And we're going to hope that everybody else fares a little better than Greg did, because Greg did have an extended stop. So these guys are definitely going to have to be on their marks when they were coming down the pit road. Because just because it's a Roval, I think it's almost as challenging as any other racetrack, because these guys are going to be wanting to get to their pit stalls as fast as possible.
I would say it's more challenging than any other racetrack in a lot of ways. I mean, even some of the road courses that we've been to, I mean, this place is a combination of both, so it's hard to hit that mark when it comes to the setup. You know what I mean? You're having to tackle the oval portions that you usually see at Charlotte Motor Speedway, but also those infield.
The 43 of Paul Olsen and the 78 of Andrew Griesbaum now down pit road. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no problem at all. That's definitely some relevant information as we see the 78 driving his way down pit road. Paul Olsen also down there. He's going to be taking tires there. Let's see what the 78 decides to do. I do believe it looks like he's just taking fuel only. It's going to be a quick stop.
Fuel only start for the 78 now. That's going to definitely put him back up a little bit ahead of the 5, because remember, you're going to lose that time if you stay down pit road as long as the 5 did. The 43 also having an extended stay down pit road.
Yeah, maybe Paul Olsen thinking, he's had enough. Could help out Don Avery to maybe get some positions here with Matt DeCiani, Mark Pageant still out there. I do believe Derek Heitman dropping down pit road. So pitting with 15 laps to go is the 76 here.
Well, that's going to get somebody's attention.
And wow, the running order has changed dramatically here just because of, it all being on that pit stop. We've seen these guys be fast out on the racetrack. We've seen Greg Wyszynski being really fast on the racetrack. But what is that saying you always say, Big Al?
Wait, what is it? Oh, that's right, yeah. You race for show, but you pit for dough.
It could really go either way based on your pit stop performance. As DeCiani, I do believe, has a little over 5 seconds on Mark Pageant. Pageant has been closing in here. I'm surprised Pageant hasn't taken it down pit road and try to maybe short pit him.
Yeah, our eyes are definitely on pit road. Looks like the 43 of Paul Osen back out onto the race course. Oh!
Ooh, what? What happened? I want to see it. I think the audience wants to see it too.
Yeah, I think the 76 of Heitman definitely kind of misstepped it again. About the same spot that he got into it with Kenny Powell. Looks like he might have got into it with himself.
Well, that's no good.
Yeah, probably not what he was expecting there. Just kind of unfortunate for him. That's going to cost him a little bit, because he's already pitted as well, right?
Yeah, I do believe he has spent 5.4 seconds down pit road. He's right behind Wayne Grossi, going to be trying to take that third place position. So still, a chance for him to get onto the podium.
Yeah, Grossi is yet to pit. As the one of Matt DeCiani, the leader, is down pit road right now.
Yeah, this is going to be a money pit stop for Matt DeCiani. If he slips up at all, Mark Pageant's going to be waiting there to capitalize. Of course, Mark Pageant still has yet to pit. He is one of the last guys out on the racetrack.
Looks like fuel only for our leader, or previous leader, Matt DeCiani.
Of course, that means he has been 43 laps on that same set of tires. Asking quite a lot of those tires, wouldn't you say, Big Al?
Hey, man, it looks like he is getting faster, though, so.
I mean, you're right. He's definitely been turning some really good laps. I mean, Mark Pageant's on the same amount of tires, and,
Yeah, he just had a sub 120 lap at 119.948, so I think he's holding up pretty good.
No, he definitely is. Matt DeCiani with a very nice stop. Only spent 7 seconds in the box. He only fell 20 seconds back behind Mark Pageant. So, that's a really good stop. I mean, you got to consider how long it takes. Not even just in your box, the 7 seconds. That's not really what takes the most time on pit road. It's mostly you having to get down pit road, get down to speed, and then get to your box and then get off and without speeding. I mean, that's what takes the most time away from that lap. And he still, only lost, I do believe, last time by, hit a minute 29.294, actually a minute 36 there. So he's now getting back up to pace here as we're closing in. I do believe soon to be 10 laps to go in just a couple laps.
Yeah, we'll be expected to see the two of Mark Pageant come down pit road anytime.
Yeah, he is definitely going a long way. I mean, he's 22 laps, I do believe, in this run right now. He has so far been tackling. I mean, he's going to go as long as he can. I'm not sure how that helps out, though, because, I mean, we talked about it plenty of times already tonight about, no chance for a caution to come out and save you.
Yeah, we're just going to be watching. Keep it in mind for a while in that situation, just because, trying to see if all these guys can get down pit road, clean. That's going to be the key. You cannot get penalized at this point, especially these guys waiting until 10 to go here. 12 to go remaining in the end of the race right now. But as these guys get down within 10, I think, then you're really going to be critical of your pit strategy.
Yeah, we see Wayne Grossi right now. He is also on about the same amount of laps as our leader, Mark Pageant. So he's also going to be one that's going to have to go down pit road, and that could change up the running order. Kenny Powell, of course, 22 laps into his run. So Greg Wyszynski, I do believe, might gain those spots. He's not that far back from these guys, so keep on the lookout for that 5 car to get back up into the top 5 here shortly. Andrew Griezmann, of course, did pit earlier also. I do believe he could gain a couple spots here himself, which could help him in the playoff situation.
I think the 43 might have just bended it.
Yeah, we see the 43 now on pit road. Taking a look at what happened here to Paul Olson as he, I do believe, the first corner gets into that tire barrier and then smacks the inside wall and takes a tow here. So that is exactly what you just said, an appropriate thing to say. He just bent it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's substantial damage on that car.
Yeah, unfortunate for him, as now we do have now 10 laps to go, soon to be only 9 laps to go. And the 0-2 has still not gone down pit road. He's now 24 laps in this run. Of course, what we were told before this race started was that 25 is the limit. Could Mark Pageant have been saving this entire time?
I don't think he could save that much.
I don't think he could save that much either, just considering, though, he's still been running some of his fastest laps. I mean, but we have heard of some guys saving by maybe shutting the engine off in certain portions of some other road courses. We've seen that recently, haven't we?
Yeah, that was the our Brazilian buddies.
Kind of hate to see that they haven't been here with us. That's right.
Yeah,
Hate that we haven't seen them a whole lot lately. I mean, they have been really putting together some great finishes, but in the last several weeks we haven't seen them. So if they're listening to the broadcast, get your butt back in here.
I think it's going to take a little bit more than that to get them back.
You see Mark Pageant, though, coming on to the rear end of Andrew Griezmann. Going to be trying to put him a lap down. Of course, like I said before, the 0-2 needs to pit. Of course, the 78 has already pitted, so he should get his lap back pretty quickly here. I just don't know what Mark Pageant's doing here. I mean, does he think that he can make it? I just don't. He's got to have some gas maybe in his mouth or in his pocket. He's going to spit into the gas tank.
Really? Yeah, definitely. I don't know how that's going to work, to transfer of fuel from one's body to his tank. That's what he's going to need to be doing right about now.
He's going to have his bladder just full of fuel.
As he is definitely now putting the 78 of Griezmann a lap down.
Wayne Grossi is also yet to pit, 25 laps into his run now. Kenny Powell, I do believe, is now bringing it down.
Yeah, Powell has got some company down on pit road with him also. That's Al Koslowski in the 88 Speedway Angels car.
Yeah, interesting strategy. These guys waiting until, so close to the end here. I mean, I'm wondering where they got that idea. I mean, it was kind of the opposite of what Jeffrey Sousa was talking about. But, of course, these guys, Sousa even mentioned it himself. He hasn't been on the racetrack. Really quick stop there for Kenny Powell, though. He didn't spend hardly any time down there, 6.5 seconds.
Fuel only stop for Powell. I mean, all he needs is 8 laps worth of fuel.
100%. But some heavy calculations going into that, though, right? I mean, easy to have a misstep when it comes to putting gas in there, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah. You don't want to come up short, and you don't want to stay there any longer than you need to. So that's why you had those, all of these cool little apps that we use here to help drivers so they can actually get down there and get out without wasting time. You're 11 now coming down pit road. That's Don Avery.
But still, Mark Pageant in the 0-2 out there on the racetrack. He is now 26, verging on 27 laps in this run. He's got to be running out of gas. He's got to be so close to running out of gas right now.
Wayne Grossi pit road. And there's the 2. Now we'll be watching the 1 and the 76 to see just how long it takes.
Yeah, I don't think Derek Heitman's going to be able to get back around Mark Pageant. He is over 50 seconds behind our leader, Matt DeCiani, though. Let's see does he take the lead here? I think it's going to be close.
He's going to need his best shot is going to be trying to get out of pit road. And he does not do it.
Yeah, it looks like he is going to be about 4 seconds back from Matt DeCiani. Of course, Mark has to get up to pace, so I mean he's going to have a couple slower laps here.
Well, the cool thing though is it's not as hard to get up to pace on a road course, though, right? Now, another thing that's going to work out in his favor is our leader, Matt DeCiani, is also going to run into the back of the 24 Powell, as well as the 7 of Grassi.
Yeah, speaking of which, let's do a quick rundown of the field as everybody has taken it down pit road. Matt DeCiani, now your leader, Mark Pageant, in 2nd place. Derek Heitman, 3rd. 4th place, Greg Wachinski. 5th place, Wayne Grassi. Andrew Griesbaum is in 6th. 7th place, Kenny Powell, who's getting ready to probably get lapped here shortly. Al Kozlowski is in 8th place. 9th place, Don Avery. Paul Olson in 10th. I do believe he's out of the race car, if I'm not mistaken. Man, definitely is an interesting race here. Matt DeCiani is, I'd say the best way to put it is he's put on a clinic, Big Al. I mean, he has led almost every lap except for the ones that Mark Pageant just led under that cycle.
Yeah, he's definitely got that thing running everywhere that he wants to. His Powell smokes him a little bit going into the carousel.
You see the front end damage there on Kenny Powell's race car. Powell actually trying to race up there and catch Wayne Grassi. That is for some important points right there. I can't wait to see what the results of this thing is, to see who's going to be in, who's going to be out, who's going to have their heart broken, Big Al.
Yeah, just a lot of hard racing here tonight. When you're wrapping this thing up and it's on a road course and that's not your strong suit, it just shows how diverse you have to be in order to be competitive. I mean, we've got dirt track racing, road course racing, oval racing, short track racing, speedway racing.
Yeah, we've had everything under the sun for sure here in the ISCA.
5 laps to go here. Your
Kenny
leader.
Powell, race is on right now. I mean, Kenny Powell's trying to catch Wayne Grassi here and pass him, but he's also got Matt DeCiani right coming up on him. I mean, this could be a problem for Matt DeCiani or Kenny Powell or Wayne Grassi. I mean, the pressure is on.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot of eating getting ready to happen here.
And they ain't going to be eating no ribs.
No, sir. And also this right behind the one, you got the 2 of Mark Pageant, so.
Something could go wrong with Matt DeCiani getting by these guys, and Mark Pageant catches him. That's all it takes. If Kenny Powell races a little bit harder to stay on the lead lap here. Oh!
And there it is. There's that contact. That's exactly what Matt DeCiani does not want to happen with 5 laps to go here, because all the time that it takes, every bit of time that he loses to Powell, he's giving away to Pageant.
He really is. So, I mean, Kenny Powell kind of complicating this thing just a little bit here for the 1 of Matt DeCiani.
Oh, Mark Pageant way out of sorts there coming through the S's.
You know what it could have been, though? I always say it, that chasing the carrot mentality. I mean, he's looking at his relative and probably seeing that, hey, I'm catching him really quickly. And that could cause you to make a mistake. It really can, looking at that relative.
Yeah, because right now, I mean, Matt DeCiani is going to be relegated to Kenny Powell's lap times. I mean, that's essentially what's happening right now.
Yeah, and eventually I think, it's going to Matt DeCiani is going to do what he has to do to get by him.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's a race win. DeCiani's going to want it. It looks like Kenny Powell does go high here.
Paget just kind of took himself out of the conversation there, too, I do believe.
Powell going to try to dive it in underneath Matt DeCiani. This is might slow up Paget. So even though DeCiani had the disadvantage of being behind Kenny Powell, now Mark Paget finds himself in that same place, as we're going to be having 3 laps to go here next time by. Or this time by, I should say. So Matt DeCiani, your leader, 1.5 seconds back to Mark Paget. Derek Heitman's in 3rd place right now, about 36 seconds back. That is top 3 as we have 3 laps to go.
Yeah, Paget's going to be definitely wanting to let it all hang out here. DeCiani wanting to be keeping it all tucked in because, you know, one is going to have a different mentality than the other. DeCiani has just got to continue to run his race. He cannot look behind him. He just has to focus on not getting caught up with the 7.
Yeah, and it looks like the 7's going to go high here and let him go, so he caught him at probably the best time he could have caught him. As we now have 2 laps to go when we cross the line. This time by, the 1 has been leading so much of this race, but Mark Paget trying to dethrone him. He has also been showing some of the best pace we've seen all night. As Paget actually, I do believe, very close on having the fastest lap, but Matt DeCiani able to one-up him just by a couple thousandths, really.
Yeah, but those guys are definitely fast, you know, with them coupled with the 76 of Derek Heitman, the only 3 to actually be sub 120 here tonight.
Yeah, showing a ton of pace here, for sure. It has been essentially been a 3-man battle for that top 3. As we see Mark Paget starting to catch up here to Wayne Grossi, about 2.4 seconds separating him. Paget taking it really aggressively through that infield section.
Well, I think Grossi kind of lifted for him there, and it kind of like, whoa, made him kind of like slide to the right real quick. I mean, I don't think he was expecting that. Like, these cars don't have brake lights.
They definitely don't. I wish they kind of did. I mean, why are you putting stickers on that thing? Make them things functional. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Who wants to be replacing brake lights?
Yeah, because there would be a lot of them needing to be replaced with the racing that NASCAR puts on, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
Coming up here on 1 lap to go. Matt DeCiani coming through these corners for the last time next time by. As he exits here, going to be crossing the line, and the white flag is going to be waving for that 1 machine. About 3 seconds back to Mark Paget. I think he might have it sewn up. You just got to not make a mistake. That's, I think, the key here for that 1 race car.
Yeah, because he is going to be catching up again. So he's just going to have to manage that, I do believe.
Can't wait to see what the playoff standings are going to look like coming into the next round. I mean, next round, as I mentioned, going to be starting off at Las Vegas. I mean, everybody's going to be willing to gamble there at Vegas, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah, that's what it's there for.
Especially the nature of that racetrack. I mean, it is a really fun 1.5 miles. I mean, where you can make multiple grooves work. Andrew Griesbaum going to be trying to do everything he can to stay on the lead lap. I think he's just going to be able to finish on the lead lap. And what an accomplishment that is at a road course like this. I mean, we've seen a lot of these drivers already going to lead lap, but just to make it the whole way and not go a lap down. As we see Matt DeCiani exiting the final chicane. He is going to be your winner here for the Papa John's 125. Mark Paget's going to finish in 2nd place, only a couple seconds there behind. Derek Heitman's going to finish in third place, with Greg Wachinski in fourth. Andrew Griesbaum's going to finish fifth on the lead lap. Wayne Grossi a lap down in sixth place. Kenny Powell in seventh. Al Kozlowski 2 laps down in eighth. Don Avery finishing ninth place, 7 laps down. So definitely the picture of determination there in that ninth place machine. 10th place is going to be Paul Olson, 16 laps down. Of course, 11th place, Clayton Hoffman, 54 laps down. 12th place, Randy Drumhiller, 54 laps down. Unfortunately for him, he had a race-ending accident in the beginning on the first lap.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. But hey, with that, man, let's take another step away and let's come back and get ready for our post-race.
Woo! Papa John's just took their fresh, never frozen dough and hand stretched it into thin, oversized New York-style slices. I mean, look at that crust! That is the perfect crust thickness no matter how you eat it. So you can fold it or not. But I ain't gonna lie though, I fold it. Get a New York-style pizza from Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza.
Hey everybody, my name is Warren Maddox. I am the president of Ultimate Experience Outdoors. Our mission, we are dedicated to taking veterans, first responders, youth, and Gold Star family members on outdoor excursions across the country.
Support for our mission has many forms, from camp cooks to the great storytellers, some buddies with the band, maybe you just want to build a campfire and sit around and listen. Nothing goes unnoticed.
Camaraderie is reborn. The acceptance among the men and women that took an oath.
Whether it was decades ago or recently renewed, but never forgotten.
If you feel like you could help us, please visit our website, www.uxonation.org.
There, you can register to hunt, sign up to sponsor an event, or even donate to us so we can continue to execute our mission.
Oh my gosh, I feel comfortable, bro. We get a hug, man. What have you done, Jim?
We need your help to hold the line once again.
Welcome back, everybody, as we get our post-race show underway here for the Papa John's 125. What a great race it was here tonight. Saw Matt DeCiani grab the win here. Mark Pageant, second place. Derek Heitman in third. Speaking of third, we got our third-place finisher in the booth right now, the 76 of Derek Heitman. Definitely a lot of speed you've shown out there here this evening. Unfortunately, had some issues, I do believe, with Kenny Powell. Walk us through what kind of happened there.
It was more so a mistake on my end than Kenny's. It was my first time being behind him the whole race. I had no idea, it just felt like he stopped in the center of the corner. Honestly, like he stopped so much that when I ran into the back of him, like I practically stopped and then I got ran into the back of. I just got sandwiched. I had nowhere to go, but yeah, I could have paid more attention. Crew chief told me Powell was the next car and he's extremely slow in the backstretch chicane. And lo and behold, the lap he told me that. But it is what it is.
Well, I mean, he does have somewhat of an excuse. He is sick. So hopefully, we do hate that for you. But I know he's been talking all week, last week or so. He's been kind of sick and not feeling well. So hate that for you, that you were kind of on the receiving end of that. And you're right, it was kind of a multi-layer kind of deal to where, Greg Wachinski came up whenever you had your issue and kind of did the same thing to you. I mean, just unfortunate for you, but you were turning some of the fastest laps out there for sure. I mean, you were one of only 3 drivers to hit a sub 20 minute 20-second lap. Definitely seemed like that EPI speed was good tonight.
Oh, absolutely, man. It's good every week if you ask me. I absolutely love being part of this race team. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for, DeCiani, though. I got to give him a shout out. And, like I said, what happened tonight was what's Joey Logano say? Oh, that's short track racing? Oh, that's road course racing for you right there, fellas.
Definitely was for sure, man. And, kind of got to, pull back to where you weren't able to really get up there to the leaders, and but still, you still managed to grab a third place. Not a bad day, able to survive. A lot of guys had much worse days than you for sure, but
Yeah.
gonna be going into Vegas next week. How you feeling about that one coming up?
Well, it's gonna be my first time at Vegas. It's my first time at the Roval. It's gonna be my first time at Vegas. It's gonna be my first time at Homestead. It's gonna be my first time at Phoenix. I don't know, man. It's just like it's my first time every track that we've came to, and I just do my best to try to figure it out and pay attention and be a sponge on Sundays when Conti gives us all our notes. So we'll see if we can make something happen. Um, I should be a lot better at Vegas. I don't know what it is about me and mile and a halves, but we'll get it figured out.
Yeah, that's one thing that's very impressive about you, Derek. You're able to, you know, a lot of times, like you just said, it's your first time at these tracks, and you're still able to do as well as you do. So I can't imagine you not being, one of the guys that's in the championship hunt next season. I can't wait to see what that looks like, man. Well, after your third place finish here this evening, who can we give a shout out to?
Oh, definitely. Obviously, EPI. Making great setups. Their entire shop is good. It's not just the A car, but the entire shop is good. You can get learned up through Nick Ottinger, Dustin Hall, or Michael Conti. Um, and then of course, like I said, Matt DiCiani. I mean, he's been a driving factor for me in EPI, keeping me around, keeping my head on straight. So gotta give a shout out to him and most importantly, my lovely girlfriend sitting on the couch for letting me race this late. So
100%. Got to thank her. That's for sure, man. Well, we appreciate your time, Derek. I mean, saving you definitely got to shout her out. Otherwise, you're gonna be in the doghouse tonight.
always.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate you hopping in here and chatting with us. So hopefully, we'll see you next week at Vegas.
Yeah, thank you. You guys have a good night.
That was Derek Heitman. Next up, going to be Mark Pageant. Big Al's got him.
Hey, Mark Pageant, Big Al, you got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, what a run you had there tonight, man. We saw you coming through the field there in stage one, and the next thing we know, man, you're on the podium. So, man, where'd you get all that speed from?
Yeah, I mean, I had speed. I think I get the award for passing the most cars tonight. Messed up my Q run, just barely scraped a wall, so it got disallowed. And then, lap one, I decided to jump over the turtles. Don't do that. And got damaged, went to the back again, and then came back to the front, and again in stage three. So, yeah, it was an eventful night. I think me and Matt had pretty comparable speed. I really think the difference of the race was a little bobble I had in turns 2 and 3. 5 or 6 laps into that third stage. But yeah, I mean, overall, good run, good speed, good point stay for me.
Yeah, I mean, you're starting to be a regular up here on the podium. So, I mean, I was sitting there thinking, like, man, this guy have an extended fuel tank in that car. So, I mean, that's why they call those strategies. But talk us through a little bit about your pit strategy as far as trying to come in, I do believe, with around 8 to go.
Yeah, that was. I didn't really think I could make it. It turned out to be even closer than I thought. I was 4 laps short of making it, but maybe if I would have saved from the beginning, I could have cut that down to 1 and made it interesting. But I think I would have given up too much time. Matt was just too fast. But yeah, I was saving under the caution. Pitted, stayed out as long as I could, so I could take the least fuel, be in the pit stall as short as time as possible. So that was the thought there.
Yeah, how many times did you change your tires here tonight?
That's a big 0.
So, and I noticed that you were actually getting to some of your fastest laps were there when you had when you were almost out of gas, I guess you'd say. So, just how long did it take you to realize that you weren't even going to have to put tires on that thing?
Yeah, I ran NIS last night, which is the same distance, and the tires basically just don't wear. You wear your right front a little bit here, but everything else is still 90% after 50 plus laps.
Well, evidently that call worked out, man, and we were just waiting to see what your pit strategy was, and looks like it was close with you and DiCiani coming around the turn, but I think he ended up besting you by maybe a second and a half. but still, man, awesome performance. Next week, we'll get ready to head to Vegas. What can we look forward there from that 02 then?
Yeah, Vegas is mile and a half. So I think I've said this before, are not my favorite, but we'll see what happens. We usually bring pretty good speed, so biggest thing at Vegas just gonna be avoiding trouble, having a decent points day, and setting myself up for a good position to move into the round of 4.
Well, yep, we'll be definitely keeping an open eye for that, man. Strong performance here tonight. Just not able to get it all the way done, man, but you got it really done, and I think you got a lot of people eyes open. You know what I mean? You're not going to be able to slide into this thing anymore. I think they're going to start to get the gist that you are definitely a contender. So before we let you go, man, who we shouting out tonight?
Yeah, thanks to our sponsors at Triad and the team. Wouldn't be possible without them. Stin Analyzer, big help, and Sousa Media. Special shout out also to Alex Van Desant. He is kind of a road course specialist. He did a lot of work on the set this week, so thanks, Alex.
Hey, man, thank you. Congratulations. Thanks again for your time, and I can't wait to see what you do next week.
10-4. Thanks. Good job, guys.
Alrighty, that was our second place finisher there. The 0-2 of Mark Pageant did a fantastic job this evening. Looked like he might have even had a chance to get the victory, but the man who did get the victory put on an absolute clinic out here. Matt DeCiani led every lap except for the ones that win the green flag cycle there. I mean, looked like you just had a rocket ship tonight. How you feeling?
Yeah, it feels good. Sorry when I talked to you guys earlier, I was flustered. I had a lot of stuff, communications, and but yeah, it feels good to actually execute. I definitely made quite a few mistakes tonight. I think I about wrecked the car like 4 times through the bus stop, but luckily I didn't, and it all worked out.
Now we saw, you were having to try to fight to get around lap traffic there. Almost saw an incident kind of almost happened. Could have fallen away from you right there. I mean, how stressed out were you in that period when you saw Pageant starting to catch you?
A little bit. I mean, so that's the thing with this track. To be fast here, you gotta attack. You gotta attack throttle. You gotta attack the brakes. You gotta attack the curbs, and it's a fine line between gaining a second and losing 2 seconds. So I was just running as hard as I needed to. Not killing the curves, but just to maintain. And I felt like I had more speed if I needed to do it, but luckily it didn't happen. But yeah, if I tried to time lap traffic, there's certain spots you want to hit them. You want to hit them on the oval, and if you just catch them going into one of the chicanes, it just kills your lap. So it was just trying to manage where you pass them. But luckily, everything I thought was pretty clean. Everyone was pretty respectful out there. So just thanks everyone for that.
Yeah, definitely seemed like, lap traffic could have played a significant role there. Didn't as much as it could have, but you were able to, really get out there and put it on. I mean, how big do you think the clean air was and having that track position all night? I mean,
honestly, I don't know how much it made a difference, but I mean, I don't know. I never got close enough where I had to race someone to pass them. So I guess it was, I don't know what I'd give a good gauge there on that, but obviously controlling the race makes things way easier.
That it did for sure, man. And you might have think you made a whole lot of mistakes out there, but you seem like you were mistake free from our point of view up here in the booth. Great job to you. How you feeling about Vegas coming up? I know we're moving into the next round, and you are locked in.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. If I'm hoping, I don't know. I'm hoping the tires wear, so there's some fall off and some long run advantage. But I've been struggling at keeping my tires on the car, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, Vegas is a fun track, so it should be fun. And then the intensity is going to ramp up since we're going down to 8 next week.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a couple guys actually have gotten cut out here tonight. This being an elimination race. I mean, coming into this thing, did you feel like you were going to be safe?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I had like a 45 point. I would have need to finish. I would need to get 1 point, and I knew we weren't going to have that big a car field, and so I wasn't worried. But definitely was shooting for those playoff points because those 7 points I think I got tonight could be huge for next round.
100%, man. Well, great job for you. We can't wait to see what Vegas looks like. I know you're going to be definitely turning it up. I know you've said you've been kind of playing with kid gloves the last few races. Can't wait to see the Matt DeCiani to get out there and win. That's for sure. But man, great job to you. You got that win tonight at a hard track, no less. You know, the Roval. You know, does this one mean a lot to you tonight?
I mean, all wins mean a lot, right? You know, it's not like, you know, I'm not no Clayton here winning every race that he basically runs, but, you know, so I'll take him when I can get him. But yeah, it's road course racing. I pride myself in, so it's nice to actually execute and get one here.
Well, he did run this race tonight. Not a whole lot of laps, but he was here.
He started parked. He just needed the points just to make sure. But yeah, he didn't really run tonight.
Well, great job to you, man. Who can we give a shout out after this monumentous win here and a cutoff race, no less?
Yeah, thanks to you, Brian and Big Al, calling the race. Thanks for Kennedy putting on the league. Thanks to our league sponsors, and thanks to Derek, my teammate. And we always work good together during the week. Preparing for the race, shout out to Mark. He ran good. He was definitely fun there trying to pace that. And yeah, just big shout out to EPI. Great setups every week. Michael Conti has been killing it on the road courses for us this year. So thank him for everything. And yep, thanks, guys.
All righty. Thanks for your time, Matt. Looks forward to seeing you at Vegas.
Thank you.
That was Matt DeCiani, our winner here tonight for the Papa John's 125, and what a race it was. Just got some news in there, Big Al. Can't wait to share it. Some guys might not be ready for me to share it, though. Wayne Grossi, out. Randy Drumhiller, out. Josh Schaffner, out. And Chris Johnson, out. Andrew Griesbaum finished 6 points over Wayne Grossi, so very small margin that he was able to make it into the next round, Big Al. What are your thoughts and feelings on that?
Man, that's great news for some guys, bad news for other guys. But, you know, that's the way the chips stay fall sometimes. Congratulations to all those guys that made the cut. And to the guys that didn't, man, hey, look, we'll still hope to see them next week, right? Nothing but love.
Definitely, for sure. You know, definitely gives these guys an opportunity to maybe, you know, still race and not have as much on the line and maybe experiment and get it a little bit better for next season. I mean, still a valiant effort from those guys that were able to make those playoffs. And, you know, we saw Grossi really put forth a lot of effort tonight. You know, we saw, Drumhiller, unfortunate, had that, first lap issue. I just hate that for him. Really, I do, because, I mean, it could have been a whole different picture. Also, you know, Chris Johnson and Josh Schaffner, didn't see them tonight, unfortunately. Wish we had saw them so they could have put some forth of effort. But, you know, it is what it is. Maybe something personal came up for them. So definitely valiant effort for them all season long to be able to get into position to even be in the, you know, talks for, you know, getting into the next round. But what a race it was. We appreciate everybody out there tuning in. Big shout out to UXO for coming on board here for this series also. And big shout out to Papa John's. And big shout out to Kenny Powell and you, Big Al.
Hey, big shout out back at you.
Well, we appreciate everybody joining us here this evening for the Papa John's 125. We will see you on Saturday as we are going to be tackling essentially the same race, but with some new faces, or some different faces, I should say, as those guys are also going to be going into a cutoff race. Can't wait to see that. Make sure you tune in about 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when the stream will start. Race will actually start a little bit after 9:30, so make sure you look for that. And next Thursday, tune in as we go to Vegas here on Thursday, same time, and we'll see you next time.